So folks, I am with my good mate Damien of Damien and Eliza fame in their X-Terrain, which has had the loaded 4x4 wand waved all over it. So Damien, give me a précis of what you've done to this vehicle.
We've done the dynamic tune suspension.
Yes.
The 3-inch King Brown exhaust.
Yes. CSA wheels.
Yes, CSA wheels.
Yep.
And then a Rhino bull bar and lights.
Yep. Toyo tyres.
Yeah, Toyo tyres. And
Yep.
yeah, basically, all the guys at Loaded have been fantastic for us. Recommend all the good stuff, and yeah, she drives a hell of a lot better than it used to.
Yeah, well, I've only been in this about a minute.
Yep.
And I can already feel that it is heaps better than the stock standard car. There's no two ways about it. I like the stock standard suspension, particularly after it's been on for a little while. It's assuming the condition of custard in a bowl. It gets a bit wobbly.
It definitely was.
Now, you were telling me just before a little story about you going up to Loveday on the stock standard suspension.
Yep.
And you noticed a difference.
Oh, absolutely, straight away.
Right.
Yep.
So, in what parameters do you reckon?
Obviously higher for one.
Yep.
Just a lot nicer ride over bumpy terrain. It's just everything's a million times better.
Yep.
Yeah. So obviously got stuck a couple of times at Loveday with the old suspension.
Yep.
With the new stuff, clearance, everything's a lot better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
especially being a new person for driving.
Yeah.
It's even I can tell the chalk and cheese difference.
Well, that's good.
So it's great.
Yeah. I can just feel straight away that it's on road. Poise is just so much better than the stock machine, which is a combination of the suspension and the tyres. There's no two ways about it. Those two elements are always on my first recommendations for folk who've just bought a new car.
And your recommendations were what we went by when we did your training course, basically.
Yeah.
But no, it's fantastic.
So, what a lot of folk don't realise too is that the changes in suspension make a big difference to swerve and recover moments.
Okay.
And if you were faced with one of those days when you have to do this because there's an animal that's just come out on the road or something like that, you know that the car's got a lot more poise with it. It can, as the term describes, swerve and recover from that situation without getting really untidy. So I could feel that was immeasurably better than the stock machine, which gets a bit roly-poly in chucking it sideways at 80 kilometres an hour. All right, so big thumbs up, folks, for the bitumen poise.
Massive thumbs up.
Yeah, I just feel really comfortable right now with this. It just feels great.
How long is the development stage for your suspension?
Steane's the best one to answer that, but it's been a process of about 18 months. So we had a reasonable inclination on what we wanted to do based on our wants and desires for shock rates and spring rates, being able to carry a load and also being able to be comfortable at the same time. But Steane and our partner Brendan have spent a ton of time really maxing out the valving on the shocks, the dynamic tune as we call it, to make sure that was absolutely right for the bulk of our clients, because what we wanted was something that was compliant. And the biggest problem with a lot of suspension kits, particularly typical 2-inch lift, is that they make shocks that are just too firm, and combined with the enhanced carrying capacity of the spring, it just really makes for quite a rough ride. And especially if you go and put too much air in your tyres, and you end up with this horrific chattering over corrugations and things like that, which is no good.
No, definitely.
So what Steane's been able to do is to tune out that chattering and just make the initial reaction out of the shock absorber more compliant, so it's got a bit of yield to it before it then goes to work to slow down the harmonic in the suspension, which is a fancy schmancy way of saying the wheel going up and down. But that's basically how it works.
Yep, beautiful.
Yeah. So a lot of time, a lot of effort, and lots of cursing.
Yep, definitely, I can imagine.
Because we've had a few iterations of it, we've had to test it over a period of time, but we're reckoning with it pretty good.
You have, very good.
Yeah, and I know that it's suspension now that is the equal of things costing 2 or 3 times what ours does.
Yep.
So that's pretty
It is.
impressive.
It is.
Without all the gadgetry, because there's a lot of folk who are running a remote adjustable stuff, and I just don't get the sense of that. If I was racing, I could get it,
Yep.
where you need to finely tune things
Yep.
for different track conditions. But the average punter isn't going to get underneath the car
No.
and dial in a click or two here or there every day of the week.
Well, that's exactly right. And then I spoke to a couple of companies, one company, I can't remember who it was, and said what I wanted to do, and like, he goes, yeah, you need airbags, you need this. I'm like, what the? What? No. And then got onto you and Steane, and he goes, no, you're fine. Like, yeah, it's all very confusing.
So Damien, since you've fitted the suspension to the car, you've done a couple of trips, and how have you found it on high-speed dirt roads?
Yeah, a lot better as well, a lot smoother. Even driving along now on the dirt roads is basically sort of not much worse than bitumen. Like, it's a lot better than the standard, that's for sure.
Yeah. I've noticed it's not floating, it's not being a porpoise on the corrugations. It seems to be a whole lot flatter and a lot more composed.
It definitely is. Yep, 100%.
Even that big bump then barely flustered it at all. And one other thing I've noticed with all Leafs front cars is if you pick up a bump mid-corner, they do a big old hop and skip sideways. Have you noticed anything like that?
No.
Right.
No, it handles beautifully, really.
Yep.
Again, chalk and cheese to the standard suspension that comes with these cars.
Right. Yeah, cool. Damien, this track is pretty lumpy bumpy. Like there's a bit of a wobble there, but already I can feel there's a marked improvement in the way the vehicle's handling. It just feels really planted.
There's no sway. It's handles beautifully, even on really bumpy terrain.
Yeah.
That last corner just grabbed in nicely.
You did, didn't it? Now, Damien, this is a bit I've been looking forward to. All the other stuff, yeah, okay, I get it. But this is what David was born to do. So, we're on the test track up at Adventure 4-Wheel Drive HQ on the Barossa, tackling a section of trail that's been deeply eroded by the passage of time. And you were up here a year ago, and you were saying that the D-MAX struggled through this section.
It didn't get through last time with the standard wheels, standard everything, and it wouldn't even get close to getting through.
So there were issues with clearance, traction,
everything.
Right.
Wouldn't even get didn't even get halfway through last time.
Right, and got stuck about here.
Yep. And we have made it through that time with absolutely no worries at all.
So it was pretty cool.
Very cool. That's
So just in my short time of driving the vehicle off-road as we are now, I've noticed that we've got way more suspension stroke than the standard car. So that gives the car the ability to lift a wheel up and over the lumps and bumps, just as we're about to do around the corner here. And also too, it's not crashing to the bump stops with the suspension, which the standard setup does. So instead of having this bone-jarring ride, it's just gentle.
It's a very smooth, gentle ride.
Yeah.
And there's not too much you can't do right now.
No. That was just an easy second gear, low range. Climb over the top, tons of grip, thanks to those Toyos. But the suspension is a revelation.
It is. That's so much easier.
And whilst we've gone upper size in tyres, what was interesting, I noticed the last time we did this is we came down the hill and we've retained the good engine braking. So first gear, low range, that was perfect speed.
Yep.
This is the telling bit where you've got these erosion gullies over the track and the wheels are just rising and falling to go, but not crashing to the bump stops.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful ride.
Yeah.
It really is.
Nice and comfy.
It's actually amazing how much better it is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, it's good to have you notice that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I get to practice this all the time and I drive a lot of stock standard vehicles. And as soon as you jump into something that's set up like this, you just know it. But yeah, to have you make that observation is great.
And it's good to come and do stuff you've done with a standard car.
Yeah.
And then with the modifications does it easier.
Yeah.
It's really great to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so easy. And I was running a course through here just during the week with a couple of stocky Hiluxes and they're dragging their underbelly right through
Yep.
this section. So thank goodness we've got our bash
Exactly.
plates
That's
on.
exactly right. Even
But-
if we do drag, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
But they didn't even touch
That
the
they
deck
didn't.
then,
Nope.
thanks to the increased suspension height. So no, it's great.
It
It's
is.
awesome.
It's
Mate,
beautiful.
thank you for all of that.
No worries. Thank you very much for all your help.
Yeah, it's good to see that the stuff does work.
It does perfectly.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Loaded 4x4 store is where you'll find all this kit for new D-MAX.